Okay, so I have to say it again, feelings. We're focusing on feelings, just in case people think that that they should be somewhere else. So if you don't want to focus on feelings, this isn't the one for you. So last week we focused on the body, and in the body tetrad, we actually, in that first tetrad, we can actually cultivate the first three awakening factors, the awakening factor of mindfulness, because we're working at becoming mindful of the in-breath, mindful of the out-breath. And what we did in that practice was begin to investigate the breath, which is the second awakening factor. So if you remember, we were investigating it by noting, is it a short breath? Is it a long breath? And then we investigated a bit further. Is it smooth? Is it soft? Is it agitated? And we really begin to investigate the breath. And this again is a second awakening factor investigation. And then as we move towards the end of this tetrad, the body becomes alive because we experience the whole body and energy arises. And this is the third awakening factor. And when we will sit to do this practice, in the preparation practice, we'll work through that just to get you hopefully into a place where we can begin to open up fully into the feeling tetrad. And I'm not going to be using a traditional sutta, although you will hear that we say, thus we train ourselves. So definitely there will be the sense of the Buddha whispering in our ear. Yes, the Buddha whispering in our ear what we need to be doing. What I've done is as when I lead this practice, is to give it more accessible language and make it more accessible for us. When, you know, if I use the word rapture, it's like, what on earth is rapture? And then I have to give a whole explanation on rapture. And so it will be joy, which is joy is an awakening factor. And actually, if you are familiar with Analio, he actually calls this stage joy. So in this second tetrad, we will be looking at two more awakening factors, joy and tranquility. But let's talk about feelings a bit before we do the meditation. So Vedana is the word, Vedana, and Vedana is hedonic tone. And for me, if there's one thing that you get from this week, and it's so liberating if you can really get it and you really begin to apply it to your life. When I learned this 15, 20 years ago, it completely transformed my life. In Buddhism, there are only three feelings, okay? Just three feelings. So I'm sorry, but if you're saying, but what about being abandoned, or what about being neglected and not being seen? These are interpretations, these are stories. And what we're really focusing on in this tetrad is the free feelings, is the hedonic tone. And Vedana is so important because actually Vedana is the thing that links the body and mind together, okay? And the reason why I say that is because we have 6 sense doors. The mind is the 6th sense door, okay? So we have 6 sense doors. And what happens is that an external stimulus or even an internal stimulus has contact with one or more of the sense doors. And when there is contact, there's feeling. You can't avoid it. Feeling isn't volitional, okay? It happens wherever there is contact, there is going to be some kind of feeling. maybe some of you might see or smell something, like smell baking, and you salivate, yeah? Because there's just been this contact. It's almost like a gut feeling. And what happens is that based on this contact, there is pleasant, unpleasant, and neutral. Those are the three feelings, and we experience this in the body. Something can be pleasant. We might have an internal stimulus of a memory, and we have a pleasant sensation in the body. And then, of course, what happens is we react to this pleasant sensation, and we want more, and we perhaps crave, okay? Then again, we might smell something, like we might smell our partner's feces in the, our partner's just done a number 2 in the washroom, or somebody's just done a number 2 in the washroom, and we smell it. There's an unpleasant Vedana that arises in the body, and we want to push it away. And then there is neutral. It's like, I love to bring the example of kids, because kids are really good at letting us know when they are in neutral zone. Oh, I'm bored. Oh, this is so boring. And what do we do when something is just so boring? We act out to try and make it interesting. We try and shake it up so that we can have an experience. And so we are reacting to all these three feelings. And hedonic tone, it's all in the body. It all goes on in the body. We're hungry. Unpleasant sensation, so we move to food. We're thirsty. Can be an unpleasant sensation, and we move to drink something. Or we're cold, or we're tired, or we have pain, and all of these are hedonic tone, and we are constantly trying to make our body feel better because we think happiness is in the body. Yeah. Don't know if you're aware of that, but actually what we're doing is we're thinking on an unconscious level that we're going to find happiness in the body. Yeah. But we won't find it in the body. And it's really interesting because we do have to be in the body. We do have to learn to come home to the body. Many of us have split the body. We've left the body because of the trauma that we've experienced, and we don't want to be home in the body. And the reason why it's important to come home to the body, because we can begin to explore the unworldly and the worldly feelings. People think in Buddhism, we can't have pleasant experiences. Yes, of course. We want you to cultivate more pleasant experiences. Happiness can be found in the heart, mind, in chitta. That's where happiness can be found. This pleasantness can be found when we move into a meditative state and there is this sense of contentment. And so sometimes the practice is really discerning. Is this feeling of pleasantness going to help us progress along the path? Or is this feeling of pleasantness going to be, is this feeling of pleasantness actually stop us progressing on the path? And it stops us progressing on the path if we begin to crave, if we begin to grasp, if we begin to cling. But there are pleasant feelings which are really going to help us progress along the path. And when I think of this, I think of the 6 paramitas. In some traditions, there are 10. I'm just going to talk to the 6, but of the pleasantness and the happiness of generosity, morality, patience, energy, meditation, and wisdom. Even an unpleasant feeling can help us progress along the path if we don't move into aversion. So, for example, we can be meditating and we can be really, this hedonic tone arises because we've got so distracted. And because we've noticed this distraction, this unpleasantness, we can think, you know, we want to commit to work with this distraction. And so that can help us progress along the path because we are committing to do something about this distraction rather than this unpleasantness arising because I'm so distracted, I can't do this thing. What's this meditation about? It's a whole load of codswallop. I don't want to be doing this. That isn't going to help us progress along the path. So in this practice today, I really want us to have the invitation of focusing on pleasant hedonic tone. And even if unpleasant arises, we won't push it away. We can think, okay, this is just a reminder for us to keep on practicing and really see if we can really begin the hedonic tone in the body and just notice when pleasantness arises, notice when unpleasant arises, notice when neutral arises, nothing much going on. And this can be the most reactive one, especially in meditation, because many of us sit on the cushion with big expectations. We're going to sit to meditate to make us feel better. We're going to sit to meditate to have this big experience. And so we're sitting in meditation, nothing much going on. And we begin to get a bit sleepy. You know, we tune out a bit. We go into distraction. You know, neutral often has a tendency to be slightly unpleasant or slightly pleasant. Okay, so this is what we're going to do today. So I'm going to stop there, and I'm not going to ask if you've got any questions. We'll wait until after the practice. So get yourself ready. I'm going to put a blanket around me. I find a blanket around me very comforting. It's very comforting, soothing thing to have. And sometimes as well, when we sit still, the body can cooler down. So we don't want that as a distraction. Yeah, and just going to really see if we can allow ourselves to experience some joy in this practice, because at the end of the day, what's the point of spending all these hours meditating and you're not having any joy? What's the point of that? Yeah, you know, you're here. Yeah, let's have some joy. Yeah, and with that joy, it's just, if you don't experience joy or happiness, be aware of giving yourself a bad time, because that's when you take away any happiness or joy. It just is. This is what you are experiencing. Okay. So preparation for the second tetrad of the Ānāpānasati. So if you've remembered that you haven't done something or you haven't turned something off, get up and pay attention to it and come back so that you can be fully present here, right now. And really see if you can practice parking any thoughts that you have in the garage, parking it on the curbside so that you can be fully here right now. So having the sense of the mind dropping into the heart, so the mind is resting in the heart without tension. When tension and agitation arises, the mind pushes the heart out. So just have the sense, what's the hedonic tone of the mind dropping into the heart and resting in the heart. And if you're not sure where the heart is place your hand upon the chest and experience the heart-mind. And allowing the body to drop onto your meditation spot so that your body can fully rest on your meditation spot. Really see if we can be right here now. We are supporting each of us to practice. We are in community right here now. Just knowing that there are 42 of us practicing, supporting each other with this practice. And becoming mindful of the in-breath, the out-breath. So just see if you can notice the touch of the breath. See if you can focus on one place where you experience the touch of the breath and become mindful of the abdomen rising and falling, or experiencing the breath in the throat area or on the upper lip and inside the nostrils. Becoming mindful of your own unique breath. Inhale, exhale. Yeah, get curious about your inhale and exhale. Become intimate with your breathing. Nourish and cultivate a relationship with your in-breath, out-breath. Yeah. See if you can be loving and kind to this body of breathing, this in-breath and out-breath, which is with you 24/7. When we're asleep, when we're awake, whatever we're doing, the in-breath and out-breath is with us like our shadow. Become intimate with the breath. Become curious. Becoming aware of the whole body breathing. Yeah, the body is always breathing. And so experiencing the whole body breathing and becoming intimate with the energy in the body. It doesn't have to be big energy. It can be subtle energy. It may even be something like tickling or itchiness or numbness. It can be really subtle. So becoming aware of the whole body breathing. This is an invitation to become completely intimate with the inhale, the exhale, completely intimate with the breathing body. Really see if the body can breathe you. We don't have to do the breathing. The body will just breathe you. And see if you can notice, are you experiencing pleasant? Are you experiencing unpleasant? Or are you experiencing neutral? You can check in with different parts of the body. My feet, right now, I experience some unpleasantness, but in my legs, I experience some pleasantness. So just notice what's going on in the body. Thus, we train ourselves, breathing in, contemplating joy, breathing out, contemplating joy. So begin to scan through the body from the head and see if you can experience some pleasantness in the head area or in the neck area or in the shoulder area, in your arms, hands. Can you experience some pleasantness in this body? Joy is energy, just energy flowing in the body. Can you experience pleasantness in the buttocks area, in your legs or feet? And if you can't experience any pleasantness in the body, can you experience pleasantness upon your ear? Just enjoying the sound of this voice. So really see if you can cultivate some joy, some seeds of joy by just focusing on pleasantness in the body. And if there's resistance, that's okay. Sometimes resistance may arise because we tell ourselves we can't be joyous. You don't have the right to be joyous. So just ask the resistance to relax. Just ask the resistance to step aside so that you can really become intimate with the energy coursing through the body, be it subtle or gross, and see if you can connect to the seeds of joy. And if there is a voice saying, I can't feel this joy, where's this joy? Just ask it to shut up a minute. Just tell it to shut up. Tell it to give you a break. Just ask it to step back and really see what you find when this voice steps back. Yeah. And you can thank the voice, you can thank resistance for stepping back and giving you some space so that you can allow yourself to experience some joy. So the mind will wander. Can I ask you to mute? Thank you. Okay, and just notice what that was like on the body when you heard the distortion of the voice. Just acknowledge that there would have been a hedonic tone. And just let it go. There's no need to react to it. We can just let it go. Yeah. And coming back to the body, to the breath, and really see if you can touch into the seeds of joy. It would be an amazing thing just sitting here and just allowing ourselves to nurture the pleasantness that arises in the body. The person on the cell phone, please, can you keep yourself muted? Thank you. You've unmuted yourself again, so please keep yourself muted. Thank you. And don't give yourself a hard time. It's easily done. Yeah. So just allowing yourself to just be this amazing gift of the body, yeah, which has unpleasant, has pleasant, has neutral hedonic tone, but we're going to focus on the pleasant today. Thus, we train ourselves breathing in, contemplating happiness, breathing out, contemplating happiness. And the happiness we are talking about is simplicity, stillness, and contentment. So just really see if you can touch into the simplicity of this practice, the simplicity of just sitting, being mindful of your body, being mindful of the breath. And just see if you can touch into the stillness that can arise out of being mindful of the body, mindful of the breath. The stillness that can arise by just observing the in-breath, the out-breath. When we move into this stage of contentment, stillness, the energy becomes slightly calmer, slightly, perhaps even more integrated. And just see if you can touch into the contentment of just being in this moment now, the contentment of giving yourself the space to practice right now. You can stop looking for contentment. Contentment is right here now in the present moment. If you can just allow yourself to be here now on your meditation spot, whether you're sitting, lying, standing. If you can just arrive here now, contentment will be the fruits, the karma vipaka of your actions of just being here now. And if sadness arises, that's okay. Sadness can be an aspect of contentment. It doesn't have to be a bad thing with sadness arising. It's just energy arising in the body. That's all. So the mind will wander. It wanders even in the best meditator, if there is such thing as a best meditator. It's okay with the mind wandering. We have noticed. And what we do is we just simply bring the mind back. We're warm, we're friendly, and we just say, hey, come on back to this moment now. Just see if you can relax and let the tension drop from your jaw, tension drop from your shoulders, and really see if you can completely surrender to the meditation spot. And really, your meditation spot is now. That's the meditation cushion, the moment of now. Really see if you can surrender to now. And if there's resistance, just ask resistance to relax. You can really just say, just relax, just allow me to have this bit of time for me. You can always come back, but just let me have some time now so that I can experience some contentment, some stillness, some simplicity, some happiness. Thus, we train ourselves breathing in, contemplating mental activity, breathing out, contemplating mental activity. So we get to be with all that mental activity that's been running around in our minds. Yes, just allow it to be there. So we don't have to push it away and go into aversion towards this mental activity. And we don't have to cling and grasp onto some of these intoxicating thoughts. What we're doing is just allowing mental activity to be there without tension, without engaging in it. It's imagine just seeing these narratives and stories playing out on the court, on the basketball court or the football court or the hockey court, and these stories are just playing out, and you You just stay sitting on the bleachers without engaging, without cheering it on, just noticing. Yeah, just noticing. This is the practice of meditation, the practice of the Ānāpānasati, of just being with whatever arises without making it me, mine, I. And if it helps, if you find yourself being caught by narrative, by mental activity, if you find yourself getting active, agitated by mental activity, you can just say, this is not me, this is not mine, this is not I. This is not me, this is not mine, this is not I. And it doesn't matter how many times you say this. If it helps you to progress along the path, then say it. Thus, we train ourselves, breathing in, experiencing mental activity, breathing out, experiencing mental activity without getting active. Your place of destination is mindfulness. That's the destination, not the goal, but the place we are wanting to land in is the land mindful of breathing. And if you were walking along the road and you saw a friend who stopped you and wanted to chat and you knew that you had to get to this place, mindful of breathing, you would say to this friend, I can't stop. I'll give you a ring. I'll see you later. I can't stop. I've got to get to this place of mind full of breathing. And this is what you can say to your thoughts. I can't stop. Not today. My place is the mind full of breathing. So just allow yourself to experience mental activity without being active, just observing without reacting. And some of you with insight may be saying, well, there is no observer. It's true, there is no observer, but at this point we're just preparing, we're preparing ourselves so that we can move into the place of liberation and awakening. This is preparation. And so it's okay for you to be observing mental activity. Thus, we train ourselves breathing in, experiencing the touch of the breath, tranquilizing mental activity. Breathing out, allowing the touch of the breath, tranquilizing mental activity. So here we begin to move into the fifth awakening factor of tranquility. And we can begin to cultivate this awakening factor by allowing the touch of the breath to soothe mental activity, to calm mental activity. So really see if you can find the place in the body where you experience the hedonic tone of the touch of the breath. Maybe in the abdomen rising and falling, in the cleavage rising and falling, perhaps in the small of your back. You might experience a touch of the breath in the throat area, on the upper lip, inside the nostrils. I may not have even mentioned where you experience a touch of the breath. What's important is just focus on one part of the body where you experience the touch of the breath, and allow the touch of the breath to soothe you, calm you, soothe you, calm you. Allow the touch of the breath to soothe mental activity, to calm mental activity, cultivating the fifth awakening factor of tranquility. So try and relax, try and let the tension release from the body, and just see if the breath can rest in the body, and the touch of the breath soothe mental activity. So just focusing on the part of the body where you experience the touch of the breath. So don't worry if you've got distracted. The more times you notice you've been distracted, and the more times you bring yourself back, that's the practice. Keep on coming back to the touch of the breath, and allow it to soothe mental activity. And if there's some resistance or a voice saying, I can't do this, this is hard, just ask it to step aside. Just ask it to relax, to just give you these few moments of experiencing the touch of the breath, soothing mental activity. Now just doing a feeling check in the body. Are you feeling pleasant? Are you feeling unpleasant? Are you feeling neutral? So check into the body. Don't ask the mind what I'm feeling. Ask the body, what am I feeling right now? Pleasant, unpleasant, neutral. And whatever it is, it's welcome. All of it is welcome. And just gently transitioning into the space of community. This can still be meditation when we're in community, when we're asking questions. It doesn't mean to say that we have stopped meditating. It would be lovely to see some of you on the screen. If you, an invitation to turn the screen on, if you would like, an invitation. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. It's nice to see some people on the screen, and of course I totally understand sometimes I am you without my camera on. I just encourage you, if your camera's off, to perhaps be aware of multitasking